They said humans break before chains do, and to prove it, they brought an audience. 50 alien guards stood around the courtyard, laughing as they tightened the metal restraints around my wrists. I smiled anyway. It was the kind of smile that made them uneasy, the kind that said I knew something they did not. Their laughter wavered, just for a moment. That was enough for me. The air on Titan IX prison tasted like rust and failure. The ground pulsed under my knees with the rhythm of the alien power core beneath the stone. They paraded me like a circus act, calling me the Earthling Joker, the man who laughs while being broken. I let them. Better they think I am harmless. It kept me alive longer than most. Then they dragged in the new prisoner. A girl, maybe mid-20s, wild brown hair, mud-streaked face. Emily Davis. She was thrashing, screaming curses at them. Brave but loud. Loud gets you killed here. The guards tossed her beside me, amused by the matching chains. One leaned down, tapped her cheek, and said humans make the best entertainment. She spat in his eye. I almost respected her for that. She glared at me like I was part of the problem. So I said the first thing that came to mind. Welcome to the galaxy's worst vacation spot. Her brows knitted in disbelief. You are joking while chained to a wall, she whispered. Her voice trembled. Humor helps the panic hurt less, I said. Also keeps your heartbeat steady. The aliens, they monitor pulse rates. They feed on fear like it is a sport. As if to prove it, a prisoner across the yard screamed when a guard snapped his fingers. A machine nearby buzzed, harvesting the spike of fear from his bloodstream. Emily went silent. I shifted closer. I have been here 6 months, I murmured. I know the guard schedules, the vent pads, and where they keep the neural disruptors. She eyed me suspiciously. Why are you telling me this? Because I cannot do it alone anymore. She hesitated, breath quick. And if I say no? I grinned. Then we get to die with excellent comedic timing. Night fell, the twin moons casting cold light through the bars above. In the silence, I whispered the plan. A stolen access chip. A frequency that scrambles their nervous systems. A path through the ventilation grid that no one but me had mapped. Emily stared at me for a long time. Finally, she said, tonight then? I nodded. Tonight, chains are not what will break. We are. Morning in Titan IX was never quiet. The alien guards liked to start the day by marching through the cell blocks, banging their electrified staffs against the bars as if daring anyone to move. I kept my head low and my smirk ready. Emily stood beside me, her wrists still bruised from the chains, but her eyes had changed. No more wild panic. Now they held a sharp, dangerous focus. The kind that could get us killed or set us free. When the guard passed close enough, I faked a stumble and bumped into him. He snarled, lifting his staff to strike, but I pointed at his belt with a grin. Hey, I said, your translator is malfunctioning. You just called your superior a mucus-covered fungus log. It was nonsense, but the surrounding guards turned to stare. Confusion among aliens is a beautiful thing. While they argued, I slipped the thin access card from his pocket into my sleeve. Emily saw it, her eyes widening. I winked. She whispered, You are insane. Probably, I said, but it is working. Later, in the cafeteria, we sat at the farthest table. The walls buzzed with surveillance drones. Keep your heartbeat calm, I reminded her. If you panic, they swarm. She nodded stiffly. I slid the card across the table beneath a broken tray. That gets us into the maintenance hall. From there, we reached the ventilation grid. Emily whispered, And the disruptor? That is step 2, I said. Before she could answer, Marcus Reed dropped onto the bench across from us. Tall, lean, eyes cold as ice. Heard you two whispering hope, he said. That is dangerous currency here. His voice carried a warning underneath. Emily stiffened. What do you want? Marcus leaned forward. In. Or I report you. He was a survivor, but the kind who saved only himself. I studied him, then nodded. Fine. But one lie and you are on your own. That night we moved. The access card opened the maintenance door with a soft click. Metal pipes lined the narrow corridor, steaming with heat. Emily crawled into the ventilation shaft first, followed by me, then Marcus. The space was tight, the air thick with dust and oil. Below us, alien guards patrolled with plasma rifles. One wrong sound and we were done. Halfway through, we heard a whirring sound. A drone. It hovered beneath the vent, scanning. Emily froze. I whispered, "Keep moving." Slowly. Her hands trembled, but she pushed forward. Just when we thought we were safe, Marcus whispered sharply, "Stop." He reached into his pocket and pulled out something small. My heart dropped. The disruptor components were gone. He held them with a smirk. "You should not have trusted me." Before I could react, alarms blared through the corridor. Red lights flashed. Marcus crawled away faster than fear itself. Emily looked back at me, breath ragged. "What now?" I inhaled deeply. "Now we improvise." The alarms screamed like wounded beasts, echoing through every metallic corridor. Red lights flashed across the steel vents, painting our faces in warning. Marcus was already a blur ahead of us, clutching the stolen disruptor parts as if they were his ticket to salvation. I felt Emily's panic rising, her breath sharp and uneven. "Calm down," I whispered. "Fear gets you killed faster than plasma." She nodded, though her eyes betrayed the storm inside. We slid out of the vent at a junction room, landing hard on cold metal. The floor rumbled with the footsteps of alien guards converging on the sector. Marcus bolted through a side door. I grabbed Emily's arm. "We go after him, or this entire thing dies right here." She hesitated for only a second before following. We raced through the dim corridors, ducking behind support beams as plasma fire lit up the shadows. Marcus sprinted toward the command hall, waving the disruptor parts like a white flag. He yelled something in their language, probably bargaining for his freedom. The guards laughed, a cruel, buzzing sound. Then their commander stepped forward and shot him without blinking. Marcus crumpled, the parts clattering beside him. Emily gasped. I dragged her back behind a console as the guards lost interest in his corpse and moved on. When they were gone, we slipped out and knelt beside Marcus. His eyes were open, but there was no life left. I pried the disruptor components from his stiffening hands. "He died thinking he was clever," I murmured. Emily stared at the body with quiet horror. "He was still one of us." "I know," I said, "but now we make his death mean something." We moved quickly to the auxiliary control chamber where the power conduits met. The room hummed with blue energy pulsing through coiled cables. Emily set the parts on a table and began assembling the disruptor, her hands surprisingly steady. The device, once activated, would release a frequency that disrupted alien neural implants, dropping them like stones. But it had to be triggered manually from the central control spire. "You know it could kill us too," she said softly. I smirked. "Most things here try to kill us. At least this one gives us a choice." She gave a faint smile back, then tightened the last bolt. "It is ready." Outside the chamber, the sound of marching guards grew closer. I strapped the device to my chest. Emily shook her head. "You do not get to be the hero alone." I hesitated, then nodded. "We go together." We slipped into the main hall, hearts beating in unison. Alien guards filled the control spire above us. I whispered, "Time to return the joke." We ran for the stairs, alarms raging behind us, and for the first time since Titan 9, the chains on my wrists felt lighter. We burst into the control spire, breath burning in our lungs, the disruptor strapped to my chest humming faintly like a sleeping storm. The alien guards turned toward us, their mouths curling in cruel amusement, as if they believed the show was about to begin. I looked right at the commander, the same one who shot Marcus without blinking, and said, "You are going to miss me when I am gone." His antennae twitched in confusion. I slammed my hand on the activation switch. The world erupted in silence. No sound. Just a pulse. Blue light rippled across the room, invisible yet violent. Every alien froze mid-laugh, their limbs spasming before collapsing to the floor like puppets with cut strings. The disruptor burned against my chest, heat searing my skin. Emily grabbed my arm. Theo, move. They will recover. We ran. Down spiraling staircases, past convulsing guards, through corridors that smelled of ozone and fear. The power grid flickered, lights dying then roaring to life again. Behind us, a low chorus of alien growls rose as some began to twitch back to consciousness. The disruptor only gave us minutes. The landing bay was chaos. Sirens blared. Prisoners we had freed along the way sprinted toward ships docked under massive steel arches. Plasma fire crackled from recovering guards. Emily shoved a small boy forward, shielding him with her body. A bolt struck her shoulder. She cried out, stumbling. I caught her before she fell. Keep going, she gasped. I tightened my grip. Not a chance. Using the broken chains around my wrists, I swung them like whips, striking an alien guard across the face. The irony was not lost on me. The same chains meant to break us were now breaking them. Emily, bleeding but conscious, aimed a stolen plasma pistol with trembling hands. Together, we carved a path to the nearest ship. The ramp hissed open. I carried her inside while others piled in. Engines roared to life, shaking the floor. Through the window, I saw the alien commander rise unsteadily, eyes burning with rage. As the ship lifted off, he raised his weapon, but the hatch sealed with a final metallic thud. Silence filled the cabin, broken only by labored breaths. Emily leaned against me, pale but smiling faintly. Did we really do it? She whispered. I stared out at the black canvas of space as Titan 9 shrank behind us. We did, I said. For now. Stars stretched into streaks as the ship jumped to hyperspace. Emily winced, clutching her bandaged shoulder. So where do we go? I grinned, exhaustion washing over me. Anywhere they do not serve chains for breakfast. Then the radar console beeped sharply. A massive fleet appeared on the display, heading straight toward our trajectory. Freedom, it seemed, was only the first battle.